Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Department of Pediatrics faculty meeting. We're going to get started with our usual reflection for a minute. Okay. The October meeting was led by Dr. Maher, and hopefully you all got the minutes. So if somebody would please propose that we accept those minutes. Okay, as in a second, please. Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes, changes, anything? Okay, if not, we'll accept those as written. All right. So as always, we start with some recognitions and kudos. Dr. Danielle Kenyon has been selected to attend the Association of American Medical Colleges Mid-Career Women Faculty Leadership Development Seminar. This is quite prestigious and difficult to get into. So we're glad that she was selected for that. Dr. Ann Wilson and a colleague have published an article entitled Regional Infant and Child Mortality Review Committee 2016 Final Report in South Dakota Medicine in October. And Dr. Alnofel presented a poster entitled Thyroid Cancer Detection by Ultrasound in Pediatric Patients So the all-school OSCE will be taking place February 5th and 6th. They are looking for examiners and note graders, and in the past our faculty have stepped up to do this. You've probably received this in your emails requesting you to sign up. If you haven't kept those or haven't seen them, if you'll just contact Deb or me, we'll put you in touch with the people that sign you up for this purpose. So next up are our reports. I saw Michelle come in. Michelle, if you will, please give us the medical student education report.
Good morning. Just a few things. Thank you to those that have responded to the emails that Betty sent out to schedule our next Pillar 2 mini block. Will be starting February 12th. So the hospitalists will get inundated with our students. This year, Carl, and if you could take this back to the rest of them, we're not doing a physical diagnosis course formally. That last year looked like students going with different providers and doing an H&P and basically getting walked through with that physician. So this year we're going to hopefully utilize our chief resident to do an orientation with our students prior to hitting the floor. They do have part of the education that they receive in Pillar 1, but it's always good for a refresher before they start on the floor. So mini blocks is February 12th, and then the actual longitudinal integrated curriculum starts April 16th. So new students will be coming your way. And then just to put a plug in, during the mini blocks, we take the students to the Perry Center for half a day and do different simulations with them to try and expose them to more acute situations where they can have hands-on experience. If anyone is interested in being part of that or teaching, just please let me know. And our PEDS interest group is still active. The next meeting is actually November 21st. We're going to do a wilderness medicine workshop where it'll hopefully be hands-on, working on how to do things like make a splint, build a litter with the limited resources that you would have in your backpack. So not entirely pediatric specific, but if you're interested, we'd love to have you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. I forgot to mention that we did have a pediatric interest group a couple of weeks ago that Aaron Zylstra Michelle and I went down to Vermilion to talk to the first and second year medical students, and we had good attendance. There were about, I think, 14 or 15 students there who came to hear about careers in pediatrics, so that was fun. The other thing I wanted to mention, particularly for the division chiefs who are in the room, that Michelle and I are actually visiting each of your divisions. We are coming to meet with you individually to learn if there are any issues around medical student education. We sort of hear rumors, well, my student never shows up, or, about some professionalism issues perhaps. So this is our effort to try and reach out to you to tell us what you think we could do to make the students and your experiences better with the students. I will say that for the most part, our students do very well in this curriculum. I don't have the data to present today, but we do have objective data in terms of their performance on USMLE and some information from the residency program directors to which our the residency programs to which our students go, that they do very well. So some people have expressed concerns about this curriculum and are the students really learning adequately, etc. And so far, the information we have seems to suggest that they're doing as well as they were in the old block curriculum, and some indication perhaps that they might even be doing better. So just to reassure everybody about that, if you have any questions or concerns at any time, please contact Michelle, me, or Betty Jorgensen, who's in the back. She's the student coordinator, to let us know if there are any issues with any of your students. Without further ado, Joe, you're up to give us the residency program.
Always. So that's my placeholder slide. Well, we haven't had our group photo yet. It doesn't come till later. So the big news to give, of course, is how do our residents do with the in-training exam results? They take the exam 2 weeks into the new academic year in July. So what came up was for our PL3s, they have an 89% chance as a class of passing the boards first time around, and you see the range there. PL2s are at 80%, and the predicted pass rate for the interns is 78%. Now for PL1s, Pediatric Level 1, that's a reflection of the medical school. PL2, that's a reflection of us, but I've learned that over each year, the first years, when they take it as a second year, they go down a little bit. And I think it's because first year is survival year, second year is the reading year. But we had some concerns about the PL3 class this year, because this is what they had done last year, and they have jumped dramatically up to, 3 people actually hit 97%. So I think this is a reflection of how great we stepped in and how the faculty stepped in to teach the residents, because we put in several action plans. One was a content issue. It was too early. We noticed a trend in the exam results that we introduced infectious disease and neuro and endo into the first year curriculum. And so that has been introduced for now a year and a half, and I think this is reflected. So John and Ala and Archie and Fernando, we thank you a lot for that. Also, we still have the test-taking workshop, which works a lot, and we've also increased the exposure to question banks. We started TrueLearn, and of course I watch to see what the residents are doing. And I appreciate the fact that the faculty ensure that they're getting to the noon conference and to morning report. I think it has made a big difference. Plus the pride of the PL3s. They decided to study. So this is history of the past. You can look at the numbers. So I'm not too concerned about our current class because the numbers have been similar. Of the last 3 years, only 1 out of 24 did not pass first time around. Pass second time around. We have to have at least a 70% average pass over 5 years. So we're currently at 95%, and our last graduated class took the exam 2 weeks ago. We'll find out mid-December how they did. The other thing to talk about is we are 1/3 of the way into our recruiting season. I want to thank everybody for interviewing. We have had 400 and it's now 67 applicants. We have 20 interview days. We have sent out 85 invitations now, and of which 68 have accepted. We only need to interview 10 per position, but this year we decided to push it a little harder, and we have gotten quite a number of applications, not only from the central area, Midwest, but we're getting them both from the East Coast and the West Coast. Word's gotten out because now I'm getting emails from various institutions say, hey, we just found out about your program. New Mexico, we now have 5 applicants from. I mean, I can't believe what's going on. And I think it's partly because number one, our residents are coming from other institutions, and word's getting around that they are here and they like it here, but also our graduates are now in fellowships or elsewhere. Yes, Archie.
So Joe, just for the faculty who are here, as you heard, we just came back from Boston from the WNC meeting, and I got pulled aside by somebody to say they had a candidate who had already interviewed, shall remain nameless, the institution and the individual, but they were concerned that this person wouldn't get into our program because they really, really wanted to come here, and they wanted to let us know that. Now, I will let Joe know who this candidate is.
Oh,
but
interesting.
This is where we have come now, where we are viewed as being competitive, and we really want to get into our program. So this one is not just Joe saying it. We're hearing it outside of
Wow. Okay, so I hope that reflects when the faculty and the residents fill out the ACGME survey come February. All right, the other thing I want to break out is that winter is coming far faster than we want, but the residents will be taking a stretch between the 22nd and the 26th, 5 days off. The other half will work, and so I just want to let people know that that's what's up. Any questions? Because that's my report. Again, thanks to the faculty for really teaching the residents. Yes?
I just wanted to make one more point about the in-training results and the graduation, passing the boards. So we have a small number of residents, and that, as everybody in this room recognizes, puts us at risk. If we have one resident fail, our numbers percentage falls very quickly.
Yes.
So we cannot be complacent, and our residents know this, but it is a good thing for us to remember as well that while we have 100% support pass rate at this point in time, it doesn't take much for us to fall.
Yeah, the two things that keep our program fully accredited, as I've learned, is number one, the the board pass rate, and the other one is the resident survey that they fill out come February for the ACGME. Okay, so it's all a PR thing. Yes, Katie.
I've noticed a drop-off in actually receiving calls on consults as a new insult class. I don't know if that's been through other subspecialties or if somehow PM&R has fallen off the list of people who like telephone calls.
I don't understand.
When the hospitalist team, particularly the interns, puts in a consult, I'm not getting phone here. Our team is not getting a call.
It's something that we have seen with other specialties as well, where they just put it into the computer and think magically somehow we know when to come and what it is that they want us to come for. It's an ongoing battle. We continue to remind them they need to call us.
Yeah. Again, it's something residents have to learn at the start of every academic year. So I apologize for that, but we'll try to address it again at orientation next year so it doesn't repeat itself.
And I wondered particularly because the therapies, OTP and speech, don't need calls. If I was sort of getting in people's brains shoved into that bucket as opposed to a medical subspecialty.
No, it's with some of the other subspecialties too.
I don't think Dr. Sejan is here, so Pete, if you would come up and give us the research report, please. And actually, I think I can take this one down so you can bring yours up.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Just a few publications to report, and Alexei Savinoff had a couple papers come out. One that was primarily from his laboratory, entitled "Self-Transducible Bimodal PDX1 FOXP3 Protein Lifts Insulin Secretion and Curbs Autoimmunity, Boosting Tregs in Type 1 Diabetic Mice." He was a co-author on another publication, and Jessica Hansen published a commentary on community-based participatory research in FASD communities. There were a lot of presentations and conferences and in other institutes, so I'm not going to go through all these, but Jill Weimer gave a couple of talks on her gene therapy program, and also her research using a pig model of neurofibromatosis 1. And as well as Thane Muntz gave a talk on his concussion research at a regional conference. And then there were a lot of invitations, Michelle Bach and Kyle Aru, to talk about the research programs at other institutes, as well as a couple other local efforts by Sam Milanovich, Lance Lee, and Kevin Francis. Just highlighting a couple of things related to outreach and service. I was invited to join the scientific advisory board for the American Lung Association. And Kevin Francis was supporting a career panel discussion for biochemistry, chemistry students at Augie. And Jill Weimer did some work with some of the lifelong learners at Ollie on some of her research programs. As far as looking ahead, the Argus Leader has partnered with Thane Muntz to do a whole series of stories on looking at concussion research in football. So they even made a neat graphic for this. So you can look forward to that. Just a major kudos to Sam Milanovich for receiving the 2017 Augustana University Horizon Award. That recognizes early achievements by one of their alumni within 15 years of graduation date. So he even got to ride in one of the cars in their recent parades. So. I wanted to let you guys know that the application cycle for our summer research programs are now open. So every year we have paid 10-week-long internships for high school students and undergraduates in both our social and behavioral health research and our biomedical research laboratories. So if you know of anybody who is really excited and wants to check out the laboratories and see if this is something for them, you can encourage them to apply and send them this link and information. And then lastly, we just have a couple of seminars, with November being Thanksgiving. I think we have a research retreat coming up too. We have one invited seminar from a biomedical engineer, Alexander Skardal from Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine, looking at precision oncology with some of his cell or cell-free treatments. And then we have somebody who's within our own ranks, Randy Faustino, will be talking early next month, looking at some of his genetic research on genetic programs during cardiomyocyte differentiation. And just a reminder about PAS, the abstract submission is open and early bird registration is about to open next week. So you guys should put those dates on your calendar. And that was all I had.
Thank you very much, Pete. I did remember the other institution that was a finalist for the Spencer Forman Award was Wayne State University. So it was Medical College of Wisconsin and Wayne State, besides us. Okay, so we're on to our new business, and we'll talk a little bit about some faculty development opportunities and some program announcements. Our Grand Rounds program, as you know, is overseen by Dr. Maher. That continues to be very popular, not only within our department, but actually we have people from other departments coming to it. So that's great. The writing group is a virtual group now, so if you have articles that you're working on, grants, abstracts, anything that you'd like some help from your colleagues to review and give you comments on, you can submit it online and get a review back fairly quickly to help with some of the early versions of your writing. The South Dakota Medicine Premier Series, I just want to remind particularly our newer faculty about this. These are short review articles, generally 2-3 pages long, on some topic that you think would be of interest to our colleagues across the state to read. The articles are indexed in PubMed, so they're peer-reviewed, and many of our faculty have actually published articles in that journal, and it helps with your scholarship if you're trying to get started with that. And then lastly, I know many of you go to Rapid City to do outreach. If you would like to give a grand rounds there, Dr. Dan Peterwright is the contact person, and his information is there. They do have grand rounds there on Friday mornings, and they're very keen to have our faculty come and talk. Our speakers now for our Grand Rounds program are scheduled through June of 2018, and I just want to give a shout out to Betty Jorgensen, who coordinates the program and helps keep us all on track, get our CME credits and all of that. So thank you, Betty, for doing that. As you know, the CME credits are no longer given by the medical school. They're actually provided by Sanford Health, so the process is a little bit more cumbersome than it has been in the past, but it seems to be working okay for us now. We do have to get our documentation, and there's a lot of it. So if you're a speaker for a CME program, please pay attention to Betty's emails and respond to her in a timely fashion to turn in your documentation. We have two Grand Rounds coming up. Ala actually will be speaking about healthcare systems around the world and comparing that to the U.S. And then one of our residents, Stephanie Poston, will talk about the baby-friendly initiative at the end of the month. You will notice that there is 1 week missing in there. That's Thanksgiving week, where we, of course, do not have Grand Rounds because of Thanksgiving. If you have recommendations for topics or speakers that are from outside institutions, you all go to your professional development conferences, please let us know. If you'd like to invite somebody, our budget for Grand Rounds is limited, but it's not zero. So we can actually invite people, and we'd like to do that if we can. Please do not contact or invite anybody on your own. We've run into some embarrassing situations where that's happened, so please don't do that. This is our scholarly activity board that sits in the subspecialty clinic, and as you see, the posters that are presented at our Research and Scholarship Day get put up there. Jen Panning from the clinic changes those out every couple of weeks. If you presented a poster this May, she might be contacting you to get your poster to put it up. And then she just started putting up the articles that you all are publishing too, and I think that that is great as well. We already talked about the writing group, so I won't go into details here. The only thing is if you have trouble getting on the SharePoint site or don't know how to do that, please contact Jody Huber. She runs this program for us. An opportunity that's coming up in the spring, winter and the spring really, is the Doctor of the Day program. For those of you that don't know about this, the legislature in South Dakota meets only for a couple of months or so in January and February and the early part of March, I guess. And many of them travel from long distances. They do not have a physician locally in Pierre. So the medical school typically provides faculty that go up there to cover them. And I always remind our faculty that our neonatologists have gone. So if you're thinking, well, those are old people, I don't take care of old people. If our neonatologists can step up to the plate, I think anybody can. I've actually never gone, but I've heard from them that the resources there are very good to provide this coverage. You see the dates there, and if any of you would like to volunteer to do this, please let me know, and we'll put you in touch with the people that sign you up. These are, again, mostly for the newer faculty. You all know we held these writing workshops a while back. It's been a couple of years, actually. But they're all archived, and so if you're a new author and you're wondering how to get started in writing articles or in writing abstracts or grants, any type of writing you want to engage in, we do have these archived on our faculty development website. And then I just want to point out a few upcoming programs, symposia that are happening tomorrow right here in this room. We will be holding the Denny Sanford Pediatric Symposium. If you haven't registered for it, if you have some time, if you're interested in the topics that are being presented, please do try and come. You don't have to come for the whole day. If there's just one talk you want to hear, just come for that, no problem. This is a joint conference between Mayo and our department, and we encourage everybody to try and attend if they can. Just an early invitation to the holiday party that is held every year at our home. This is to be on December 15th this year. We do ask that you RSVP to Deb Valentine so that we can figure out how much food and beverages to account for. Last year, I think we had about 80 people come to the party, so please do try to come. It's open house, come when you can. If you don't have a lot of time, we understand it's the holiday time, people are busy, but please do try and make it. The perinatal, neonatal, and women's conference, this is scheduled for March 29th, and for those of you who are interested in the topics there, please sign up for that. And that's really all I had to go over and discuss with you today. Are there things that people in the audience, whether they're listening at distant sites or here in the room, have that they would like to bring up or discuss? If not, I think we're adjourned. Thank you all very much for everything you do. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next month.